call Pastor Luke. Well, hello again, all we fumble them. Una welcome back to the Unifier Hour. Today we dey apologize to Una for starting a bit late, but we know say Dr. Richard Konteh been there in another interview as Una been there in the announcements there. We apologize for starting a bit late, but that's not mean say the show where we get for Una today any less important than the other one the Una don't listen to. So we dey thank Una for tuning in from wherever Una dey in the world. I dey send greetings out, I dey send well wishes, and I dey thank Una for tuning in. And I want to remind Una say, just like how Una tune in, whatever link we Una use, do ya Una share them, now all Una group them, to all Una fumble them, so that people then go tune in and listen to Dr. Richard Konteh, the Unifier, during this Unifier Hour. Una can catch we on any of we social media platform there, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. We even there on TikTok. So for them, we just get a couple of minutes. We just want to listen to something quick, and I can catch we on TikTok. Forget just the most important concept there where we talk about on the Unifier Hour. So as usual, Dr. Richard Konteh there in the studio with we, and I want for just turn to Ram now and say welcome to the Unifier Hour, Dr. Konteh. Welcome, sir. You can say a greeting to your listeners.
Yeah, thank you very much, Valda. And I always my pleasure for this Unifier Hour, and I look forward to a very exciting interview.
Okay. So as usual, I get right to it. We know say there's a hot button issue out there, and I will start right with that one day. A massive elephant in the room, as Whitman can say. And that's not the recent court ruling of Fisher on the court case where them bring to about the APC party. Just by a way of summary, you can give you your initial reaction on this ruling.
Well, I still they reflect on them. I still they try for appreciate with the full message where the insider ruling day. But I think say waiting feel say important now that I not believe say we forget any winners or losers. But let we hope say at the end of the day APC will come out of them stronger. I'm very worried because I'm not too sure about waiting there for the composition of the 21-man committee. And if we not get them right with the temperament in the 21-man committee, then we might not get a number of things right down the road, and they will get far-reaching implications for we party. So I hope and pray that we will get the right type of people. Let me make the appeal to Cherno Majuba and Peter Konteh, make them provide the leadership we will need for ensure say we get the right people onto the 21-man committee, where eventually will then appoint the members of the Transitional Independent Elections Management Committee.
Thank you, sir. I still stay with our topic today. And I just want to ask you how you see this ruling affecting the amazing, wonderful APC party for victory in 2023. And basically, what here they try forget at now, how you see this party a work we get for do with unity, for come together strong, and as the forerunner for victory for 2023.
Well, This, on face value, you will feel say this ruling will create division within the party because you get two blocks. But if we focus on the fact that we all are APC at the end of the day, and we all mean well for APC, I believe saying that APC people get for come together, and therefore as APC people for find the best way forward in the best interest of the party. So they take solace in that. But since I'm not too sure, I don't know, I don't get any clue about where they get for the committee, I'm a bit worried.
Okay. Another question I want to ask, with the way this ruling cut out, there's a lot of talk, by party members where they feel say they're not quite sure waiting we party leader then how they being prepared for this court case from the beginning, whether the NAC and the senior party member them being miscalculate the way the case go turn out, whether they may properly evaluate them. And with the airy stories and references of basic mistake, like underlying mistake and fundamental things like no minutes, like financial documents, were troubling. How effective you think say the party been be in preparation for this lawsuit?
If waiting the judge right, not true, and anything for go by, then it's really appalling. Make we get a big party like the APC without records. It's really appalling. Yeah, the hope and pray say not be true. Because if it be true, it's really appalling. And indeed, I think say as a party, we get lessons where we for learn. There are certain steps where we be supposed for don't take. I believe say we for don't nip all of this thing in the board. I think say we be underestimate this whole issue from the get-go. I believe say if we not be underestimate this whole thing from the get-go, we for don't find ways for engage the NRM members from the get-go and try to see how we can reach an amicable settlement where we forget we to this level. I wish we not been get to the point where we allow the courts to dictate the future for Uber.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for that, Andy. The plaintiff in this whole court case, it released audio, and he classified the ruling as a victory for independence for various factions of the party. He classified them as a case where bring improved democracy for the party. Further to that, he named you as a moral guarantor of the party. Can you speak to this description of who you are as a moral guarantor of the party?
Yeah, well, when the differences between the party and the NRM being get to the point where they not be seen for the agree on anything, we be need forget people them where both sides go respect. We go engage both sides and try for seek a common ground for make we go resolve the matter. So we be constitute ourselves into a group what we call ourselves the moral guarantors. This will be basically some veterans and some of we former ministers. We come together and seek the blessing from NAC for make we engage in the process. And that engagement, I make Peter Konteh refer to me as a moral guarantor. We have been part of that group of moral guarantors where we be engaged both parties for try for narrow the huge gap will be there between the position of the party and the position of the NRM. And we will succeed for narrow them to the point that we will get a common ground. We will lead we to the signing of the MOU in Amakeni on the 1st of November 2020.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that clarification there. Say the work of the moral guarantors, where you have been part of, lead to a narrowing of the gap between the plaintiff and the party, and end up sign the work owner do end up to the signing of the MOU. So thank you so much for that, Andy.
Maybe just so you know, this was before Peter Konteh. This was the NRM.
Okay.
When Peter Konteh Ion issue come up, the moral guarantors then no, there was nothing again to negotiate. Now this time there been just personal calls. Some of we been they make or try for get Alfred for see reason why maybe he will withdraw the matter from court. But apart from that, not much may happen again.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Me famble when I did listen to the Unifier Hour on www.richardkonteh.com. And I encourage everybody where they on live right now for share the link, share and all the group there where on a day, share with all when I fumble then so that then self can come and listen to Dr. Richard Konteh as they expound on not only in plan for the country, but how it work hard for unify we APC party where we all know go, we all agree say we need unity now we APC party. Una can catch we on any of the social media platform there. We're there on Facebook, we're there on LinkedIn, we're there on Twitter, we're there on YouTube, we're there on Instagram, and we even there on TikTok. So una can catch we on www.richardkonteh.com, Konteh with a K, www.richardkonteh.com. Dr. Konteh, I just want to ask you this question because we know say right now plenty party member then they feel a sense of loss, then they feel a sense of hopelessness and defeat. And other one then they where they feel like say, well, maybe this ruling by Fisher is not such a bad thing for the party after all. Whatever lens people then they use, it don't create massive ripples in the party. What message you get, whose message you get for the party membership at this time where all of these feelings are so raw and up in the air?
Well, my message now that it's a very trying times for we as members of the party. The future very uncertain. But I feel say it could be helpful for make we all take a moment for reflect. May nobody not celebrate, we not see any winner, we not see any loser. I just see a challenge ahead of we in terms of how these seeming factions where the courts don't create, how the people work together in the best interest of the party, make we will get a common ground. And then they may see as a challenge. But since I believe say behind every problem is a potential, I want to hope say we will come out of this a better people. So let we not feel too bad, let we not feel say anybody lost or anybody win, because the ruling is very clear. The ruling say get 9 people. Chair of Majuba, they appoint 12 people. But then when they come for take decisions, it will be by simple majority. So that day it gets implications. So even though Peter Konteh will get the chairmanship, if then they vote by simple majority, no will get the majority. And so with the need for get compromises if they get to move forward. So I therefore urge that we all push for a more conciliatory approach to the engagement going forward. And I think say that it will be helpful for we all.
Thank you, sir. Fumble there on way Dr. Konteh they talk say with this whole Fisher ruling, which they appeal to we as APC members now that want for make anybody feel like say they win or anybody feel like say they lost, but instead it want for make we take a reconciliatory when what's another word they pancrew say we go work together, we go come together with one word. Now that's Dr. Konteh one for C. And I want to see anybody where they act like say, oh, we don't win, or anybody where they feel like say, oh, we don't lost, because we all now one. Now in Moto that one day, it always talk we all now one. Yes, it look like say the courts don't create faction because of the way we then make the ruling and put certain people then in certain position then. But the thing is, Dr. Konteh don't remind we say in the end, now a vote of majority. So majority carries the vote. I think say we all understand that particular phrase, the majority carries the vote. Simple majority. Now I'm going to end up make the final decision. Thank you, Dr. Konteh, for that clarification there. I know say everybody know you as the unifier, and I just use your motto, we all now one. As the unifier, this court ruling, it don't cut your work out for you. If there ever was work for the unifier to do, and at the end is the work don't like they don't really identify certain area there where this work need for be done. Waiting at some step there where you think say as a party we need to begin implement, we go strengthen with solidarity and go move we from just that norming and stage and trying like almost a new party, but to performance, the kind performance we go lead we to victory in 2023.
Valdas, I be say this is a very difficult situation because we party at the moment, it's no longer the usual APC party. Usually when we get an executive where we elect at a convention, and it represent we all, and it represent factions. Now we forget an executive where they represent two factions. That in itself is a problem. But going forward, I believe say it's still possible for make they all work together. Therefore, still able to work together. Therefore, still able to think about the party and the future of the party and the people of this country and the yearning, the desire where people can get to make APC come back to power and make that inform how they will deal with the issues going forward. So I want for just say maybe believe say things it will be okay. It will be tough. It will be tough. But I think so with the right spirit amongst the one that they get for pick, I believe so we will move forward. But it's really, really a tough call for we as a party at the
moment. Okay. I just want to let you expand a little bit on who step them. You get I know say you're not unifier, but like how you, if you there as an advisor to this new 21-man committee, waiting at one or two things there where you go say, start off with this if you want to foresee this party go before, like concrete steps where they can take instantly right off the bat.
The very first meeting, when they do it, we've been do the last time we'll go to a 21-man committee. The very first meeting, they get for make it clear for say they not go there as factions, whether they are all APC, and therefore may they work in the best interest of APC. If that they be cleared from the get-go and people then genuinely believe in that, I think so it will help. The rest of it, then get for now executive, because they really get for function as the executive of the party and also as the NAC of the party. And they get for get people there for the various positions. So they get mini election if they're not able to reach consensus amongst themselves. They get for get mini elections for fill all the various positions of the party. Somebody get for handle the finances, somebody get for be the spokesperson, somebody get for be the organizer, somebody get for be the secretary, etc., etc. So therefore, able to share these positions among themselves, so that because I then get for lead the operation of the party for the next few years. I think therefore even get people there when a resident minister there, resident officers for the regions, because they get for replace the leaderships where they are the various regions for try for ensure say everybody there on board. And I think it could be helpful for make them see both parties working together and addressing the country together, addressing the members together, and giving members the assurance that we are still together as a party, that we're not divided. And I believe, say, that reassurance that the most important thing that we will need, not to these accusations, these cause, and all of those types of things where some people then they resort to arguments. That doesn't really take you anywhere. Waiting could take you anywhere. The reconciliatory message, na giving out an olive branch and acknowledging that yes, we differences, but at the end of the day, APC big pass. We all let's come together. Let's work with the best interests of APC.
Thank you, sir. So, Mifambo then, when I listen to the Unify Hour on www.richardkonteh.com, when I listen to the Unify Hour on www.richardkonteh, with a K.com. When I just hear Dr. Richard Konteh, they give a couple of concrete steps where this new 21-man committee go need for implement almost immediately as they come together for make we party begins work in solidarity and unify and begin for function, because yes, we leadership don't be disband, and now we can get a new set of leaders, and it look like say now two different factions. But Dr. Konteh don't say the first thing way they need for doing for put aside personal issues and work for the party in interest, because APC big pass we all. And it also don't talk say in very important for let them make clear say there are no factions. Nobody know they one side and other person the other side. We all now one APC party we get, so we need the need for work as one APC party. And Dr. Konteh also talk say a good thing where them will need for do now for involve everybody, make where then they feel them position them. If they're not able for come to a decision on their own, then they can hold a quick mini elections for let them make sure say then get people then at each position, each important position. They need finance, they need spokesperson, they need everybody now all the position them for make them go begin function, for let them go able for guide and lead this party over the next 2 years into victory in 2023. It also don't talk say and an important thing for let them acknowledge the differences, but also for hold out an olive branch for make peace, for make we all understand say we all belong and no one person no more important than the party than the other person. Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh, for that one day. I get a question about this ruling still. You think say the party for appeal the ruling, and if they appeal the ruling, waiting you think say that one day go accomplish?
I don't think so for appeal. I don't believe say appealing would be in the best interest of the party. Even where we disagree with the ruling, there is a provision. If you look towards the end of the ruling, the judge say we can go meet them. If we get any issues the way they seek clarification for, or make it throw some more light on it or adjust us here as the case may be. So I think say it would be helpful within this time frame for make we engage with the judges, with the judge, with the bid for time for see how some of the gray areas could be addressed. For example, waiting go happy with the party for the next 2 weeks. The party not get leadership because they restrain the National Secretary General from doing anything other than for just prepare a handing over notes, which means effectively the party they go without a leadership because they don't remove everybody from office. So how can the party exist for 2 weeks without doing anything? Where a number of things that need to be done when are ongoing activities. So I think it could be helpful for make the lawyers them and the leadership engage with the judge with a bid for ensure they will not allow any gap in the party in operations.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. So Dr. Konteh just explained to we say, nothing say we for appeal because it will affect we party in some ways where we might not like, but he also thinks say as a party, um, we supposed for engage the judge and address the area then we kind of they here neither here nor there. Nobody know what's in the go on, especially because we Secretary General then don't stop them for do any additional work. So the party cannot exist for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever time period without officers. So the judge get for make some room yonder for we party go able function over the next period and get things done, critical things done, because we know so we're heading to an election year. Um, so, Dr. Conte, what do you want to say to we grassroots APC supporter them, especially in the middle of this fear? Whose hope you go and give them for let them know say 2023. We know say 2023 in a critical year for APC party, and we need for win that election day. Waiting now your message to we grassroots right now.
Yeah, my message now just a message of pacify them. I know say on first reading, all man they vex. On second reading, all man they become worried. But when we sleep over them a few days, we will come to the realization that behind every problem could be a potential. So let's look out for that potential and focus on that potential and forget about the problems, and so that make these problems that rather help we or build a better party. And I'm just confident that we can do it and we can come out of this with a more democratic party and with a party with leaders where that the people then choose them, and I believe say we will move forward as a party for achieve what you want for achieve, whether the victory in 2023 and try for restore hope to the people of this country. Again, for say all is not lost, that the APC is still there and can come back and do those things that it is known for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that one day. So me family day on they listen to www.richardconte.com and they listen to the Unifier Hour on www.richardconte.com. And Dr. Conte just don't address we grassroots and say say way people then read this ruling, sometimes initially then will be angry, wait and read them back, sometimes then go get some worries and fear and anxiety, but waiting it appeal to everybody now that everybody look the ruling and try for see the potential with it because in believe say with every problem potential day. So I want for we as grassroots look the ruling day and see the potential, try for find the potential and work on that potential day instead of we focus on the problem then so that we can restore hope because definitely we APC party need hope right now. Um, Dr. Conte, let me move a little bit now to the economy. Um, every day now the same story with the area. People then they suffer, Makituman then they suffer, trader then they suffer, uh, people they not get enough for eat. And then they look, they wonder, say, okay, waiting exactly we for do now. How this APC party, if they can't to power, how then will help we forget out of this difficulty where we did right now because the gone really, really dry.
Yeah, it will not be easy because the whole way that we fumble the air don't dig for we party is really, really deep. But the most worrisome thing being that they don't succeed for make people no longer even get confidence in the economy for making growth. So we get for really that first for understand exactly what are the magnitude of the problem where they don't create, and then try to see how basic commodities in the insufficient supplies in the country, regardless of the price, make it be available for us the country, whilst we now take steps for ensure say we reduce them by taking measures either for reduced taxes or for take other measures or for produce some of the things that we can produce locally and feed the market. So we get for handle that. Then we get for now look at the private sector and see which kind incentives we will give for attract more private sector investment into this country so that they will create more jobs for we unemployed people there. And then when they operate, they will also pay taxes where the government will also use for financing operations. Then we would now see how we can try for boost agricultural production, boost expand with mining operations, but then start for add value to those things and then see how we can derive more as a country from this. Whilst doing this, we get for, of course, I know I use the word austerity, but definitely we get for take some measures for control expenditure. I don't the rate at which the government is spend at the moment, it's too much, and the wage bill is too bloated, and the salaries there where they peg today. One somebody come to me, he talks somebody just come out college, then get a job at our office, then get a certain salary. Then after a few months, the person say, because he highly connected, he very well connected, he say no, this salary is too small. Make the add them. It puts him boss under pressure, they right. Then they can pay him far above people that will qualify person in the same office. Just because he connected. I mean, so salary is no longer by merit, it is by how connected you are. And that is not sustainable. And that explains why we deal with salary. The salaries are just not reasonable. How connected you are determines what your salary will be. And anybody they go negotiate your salary, then get executive approval and the salary you get. So that cannot be allowed to continue. That wage bill is not sustainable. So we therefore revisit all of those things quickly, and then we therefore look at the whole tax structure and the way they apply. And me always believe say high increasing taxes not increase revenue necessarily, because people will find 1,001 ways for evade paying those taxes. So we get for ensure say we reduce taxes across the board, but then we try for introduce more formality to the private sector and try for bring more people from the informal sector into the formal sector and capture them in the tax net so that we pay taxes. So even though the rates will reduce, but because the number of people that will get for pay this tax they increase and they will be willing for pay, I believe say it will be helpful. We also get for look at one very virgin area in this country, where in the area of tourism, where we not don't invest too much. I don't talk and repeatedly for say the Ministry of Tourism could be one of the most important ministries when I become president, and we get for invest a lot. We don't know of countries that where tourism alone are the mainstay of their economy. I believe say we get huge potential in that regard. We're untapped that area, and I think say we can do a lot for ensure say that's happened. So when we take some of these measures, plus of course ensuring that we ensure say we get sufficient supplies of fuel and other things, it could be helpful. But we also get for address this issue of energy once and for all. I know say we get a framework for independent power providers. We also get a framework with the unbundling of the ministry of NPA into EDSA and EGTC, and with the regulatory agency where they for oversee the two sectors for ensure say they function well. With the intention of it for introduce more efficiency into the whole management of the power sector. But then we also need for attract independent power providers and create an opportunity for them for ensure so you can come and install your plants and sell your power to the government, and we pay you for what we use. So how reliable your power supply way they provide, then will determine how much you get. But the grid, now me believe say will not for privatize. The government for continue for control the grid, but in terms of the provision of the power, if so we for run. Even in the case of water supply, I not believe say we therefore just use one centralized water supply system for supply the whole of country. We can do localized water supply systems to make it work. I've been talk about my engagement with one ambassador from Egypt, to be precise, where he came to me one time in the office as chief of staff, and I say, Doc, I cannot understand why Sierra Leone they get problem about water supply when I get this ocean. And I say, why? He said, why we already desalinate the water? So I believe, so definitely then one thing where they think about seriously, technology definitely for exist. We go allow it for take water from the ocean, desalinate them, purify them, and pump into the system. So we careful do some research into those possibilities and try to see how we can possibly use that for solve the water supply problem permanently. Na Freetown, because na the problem look most acute. And I know say the Minister of Energy get capacity for do boreholes around the country. So we got to begin look at even smaller communities. We're very deprived. We get some communities in the Falaba district, in the far reaching areas where nobody even think about, nobody even goes there, but then get acute water supply problems. I think say we'll not for use their machines here for just concentrate there at the big towns. Or for begin go into the rural areas and try to see how we can do these boreholes and then use solar energy for pump the water into tanks and then use gravity for supply these rural communities. I mean, I go to a place like Garama, na Kailahu, then get acute water supply problems. I go na Ganya, na Falaba district. That community don't they all these years they not get water supply. You know, people simply not get water, and then they strain. If you see the type of water they drink, then they explain why they get so many waterborne diseases. So we have these problems all over the place, but I think say government need for intervene for address those issues, and I believe say when we do that, we also don't address the health concerns of the people there. So we go for look at the whole issue of the economy in a holistic manner to address that, was also not losing sight of the provision of social amenities and social services for people there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. Yes, there's a lot of work to be done. You mentioned a few things, and I want to follow up on one thing. I know say one of the main complaints we people then they make, even the one that we tap na salon, as well as the one that we can go and come from the diaspora, now that Freetown full up. Freetown full up. We know say the infrastructure, the electricity, the water, the all the other amenities, when them be bilan, they're not being bilan for sustain the level of population we did it right now. It was built to sustain a much smaller population than the one we exist in Freetown right now. So whose plan that you think say the city can engage in for properly distribute the population, or at least for begin for address the infrastructure with respect to the level of the population right now, especially in Freetown?
Yeah, I think you make a very important point. Let's take, for example, Guma Valley. I understand, say, when they be set them up, it'll be for a population of 300,000 at Freetown maximum. Now we don't get almost 10 times that population inside Freetown alone. Definitely, there's no way that they go to. Plus, the fact, say, the catchment area, they don't cut all the forests, and so the dams are now they dry. So we therefore look out for all the alternative means to provide water for the western area. But I think, say, I like to borrow from the Nigeria example. Let's take Abuja, for example. Abuja then gets those satellite settlements all around Abuja. We are in, and even they do a lot of that now in Ghana also, and in other cities in West Africa. We therefore allow Freetown for these small communities provide the services. They are build homes. There are people that go there, acquire those homes, and then they go to shuttle in and out of it as necessary and create the necessary road transport network for able to facilitate those movements without the accompanying congestion where they go about where they go on. I think even the whole idea about a new city. No, not to Tiwo for lose sight of completely. I mean, where you go to Brussels, then get the old town, then get the new town. Where you go to Nigeria, they been get Abuja. I mean, they get Lagos, but then now they get Abuja. Where you go to Senegal, they don't create a new city. Where you go to Abidjan, they get Yamoussoukro. Where you go to Cote d'Ivoire, they get Yamoussoukro as a new capital. They will be administrative capital of the country. I think that an acknowledgement that there's overcrowding in the city. Yes, a lot of economic activity take place, but for make the function of government to happen, maybe you need to reconsider and relocate key ministries and governments to other areas. So those are all options where we get for think about going forward. But definitely, Freetown is congested, and we need for allow Freetown for breathe, and we get for go outwards for ensure that will happen. And I think we will take those types of thoughts very seriously and take the appropriate steps. Within the framework of the new airport where APC be envisaged, we will also envisage a new city around the airport at that time. But it not happen because this government no give that as a priority. But when we come back, we will really revisit this whole issue about a new airport and a new city and try for locate her appropriately and ensure we build the infrastructure we need for support her.
Thank you so much,
Dr. Including the idea of a new city.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Including the idea of a new city.
Thank you so much. If I'm when I did listen to the Unifier Hour on www.richardkonteh.com. Dr. Konteh just don't explain to we some of the ways that we see we can reduce the overcrowding now Freetown and address some of the infrastructural issues we exist right now because of the overcrowding. If we now miss that particular response day, I encourage everybody say when I can listen to this broadcast again throughout the week, a day on 4 times during the week. And when I can listen to them once when I tune back into the Unifier Radio or Unifier TV. Dr. Konteh, I want to ask you something where you mentioned about...
Before you ask me a question, I want to go a bit further on this issue about how for allow Freetown for breathe.
Yes, sir.
When I was Minister of Trade, I've been with the work on this whole issue about special economic zones. But me believe one way we will allow Freetown for breathe again for transfer more economic activity to the Lunge side. And I believe if you look at Lunge, the coastline of Lunge gets some of the best beaches. We just talk about beaches on this side. The beaches on the Lunge side are equally excellent, but they're not developed them. And we also not provide the necessary infrastructure for back them up, hotels and those types of other recreational facilities that will live on that side. I believe if we get more of those things on that side, then it's also possible for we expand the runway. Now I understand that they build a new terminal. Now we see what they go for come up with, but maybe we'll go for back up with a cargo terminal, or also allow for we begin export with agricultural produce there fresh to Europe and the Americas and get more money from that for feed into the economy. But if we establish special economic zones on the highway to Port Loko, for example, I believe those ones will attract sufficient economic activity across the estuary for allow we for even begin dream of other things where we go on for we could justify sufficient traffic for finance those types of things that we want to do. So, and when that happens, it will also reduce the pressure on Freetown so that people can be there and can go about their businesses without having to come over to Freetown all the time to do everything. So those are all options where we give a lot of thought to, and I believe when we work out we strategic plan for the administration, we will put all of these considerations there and see how best we can achieve them in the shortest possible time.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't hear some amazing plan then way. I'm sure plenty of our listeners themselves go to tap then cheek then they think say, this sounds very presidential. So thank you very much for expounding on that a bit more. I just want to go into something where you mentioned around tourism, for make tourism a priority for not only improve the infrastructure in the country, but also for bringing in a source of foreign investment and foreign income, because we need that one in our country. My question to you is, we know say for do them kind thing and there is a high front end expenditure. How you think say how you go able for help the people then or guarantee say when this high end expenditure don't they in place, the return for the investment go actually benefit the country?
You know, Valda, I don't always state in many interviews that the private sector need for be the engine for we economic growth and prosperity. We therefore attract create a conducive atmosphere. We go attract private sector investment. We get the public-private partnership unit where now they in the office of the vice president. I don't know whether he will continue for day, but they the office of the vice president at the moment. He did the office of the president before. Directives provided by the chief of staff. That office will not set up for nothing. The whole idea was that we will get in different vehicles for finance with economic operations. And for some of these vehicles, like I talked earlier on about independent power providers. They will try to provide power independent, and we buy them. EGTC and EDSA, they sort themselves out. People then get their power, they pay. Who cares? Somebody can do a solar farm, producing energy, sell them. So, people then buy them. We will not get the infrastructure in place for it will manage that. But in the same way, most of these operations, even in the health sector, it not necessarily means say now government get for finance. The private sector, there is a lot of capital out there. The other day I did talk to one of your brother. That is his area of specialty. For example, there's so much money out there where people are ready for bring in and invest. As long as we get a stable country, we get a conducive environment for operating, there's peace, there's stability, but more importantly, that the systems, the tax regime, they allow them for make money, to put it simply. And as long as they will make money, they're ready for invest. And I think that is precisely what we will do. So most of these things we are talk about, even in the area of tourism, it not necessarily get for business our government get for produce the money for do some of these things. We just get for able markets. We serve very well and able to attract the necessary investments in the sector. And I believe we get enough documentation for able allowing for markets the potentials that we get. But we have to start somewhere. And that catalytic fund we needed for kickstart the process, government for in a position for provide that catalytic force. So that is the type of thing I'm talking about. And I believe there's a lot we can do in that regard using the private sector.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. I will ask you one final question, and then I will give, as usual, some room for address the potential delegates for the flag bearer convention. My final question to you is this. We know for we people then begin even think about other things. Every psychologist will tell you then basic necessities need for be met. Anybody where they wondering about outside in next meal they come out, how he go able pay in bill, how he go able pay in rent, outside they pull money for buy clothes because that one green clothes or two clothes where you get don't begin cherry don't so and tay as we can call on 60 patches make one rumble. The clothes don't cherry you don't patch and tay and no say you need new one, but you know outside that money they come out. When then kind worry then they then are people they mind. It difficult for let them think straight and for let them make proper decisions. But not exactly, precisely that one day we need from the voter them at this time for let them choose the proper, the right party for lead we country in the 2023 elections. Before we they reach the elections, even inside we own APC party, we voted them. Also, they in a then situation, then they will get for vote for the delegates them. And we no want for le person comot can give them small thing we go satisfy them belle, go satisfy that immediate need they wanting. And then because of that, then vote we no beneficial for the country. How are you go able for remind the one then where them vote them very important at this point. Say not to today we for member, but we for member waiting will happen in the next few years.
I think we get for communicate better. I believe Syrians they can understand and they can appreciate and they can relate with the issues when we communicate. I think the problem where we can get sometimes with this that we not they communicate sufficiently with the people there. And when we choose for communicate, a propaganda will they communicate. And they run an economy on propaganda. Very soon the truth they catch up with you. They will do, and you will be caught with your pants down. And that's the problem where we'll be envisaged. I think we can forget honesty and transparency even in governance. When there is a genuine problem, communicate. I remember when I became Minister of Trade, when I get a shot, when fuel will not get sufficient quantity of fuel, we will never get the time we will not get. We will not get sufficient quantity of fuel. After I don't meet with the OMCs, they don't tell me the problem, and we don't find a way for deal with them. I do go on radio, I do go on television, I do explain. The people say, yes, we get a shortage of fuel. Company X not gets diesel right now, but then get petrol. Company B gets petrol, but not get diesel. So we don't reach a compromise. This one will give this one will give this, so that they all go the same quantity. So in the meantime, we are make nobody not hold the fuel, because we'll get enough for go around. So just buy what you need now, because in the next 2 weeks, a boat will come, we will bring out sufficient fuel, and this problem will solve. The first time when we tell people that, they not be believe they're hard. But they find out say the fuel indeed it can be time will say they come, and I go back now the port, snap there, I say now the boat this, almost see how the next day the fuel day. So after 1 or 2 attempts like this, people that begin to get confidence in waiting what they tell them. So government for able for look at the people in the face and tell them the truth and make people then believe say waiting that they hear from government are the truth. So I think say we need for do that and try for make people that understand what need for be done. We go communicate, we go when we don't win the flag bearership, we can for present the manifesto to the people in the form of a social contract, where we go tell the people exactly what we intend for do, when, where, and with what resources, meaning how we hope for financial. So the people then go see, and they will be held accountable. The performance management and service delivery directorate could be there for monitor how each and every agency of government they perform, because they go for sign performance contracts and they'll be held accountable, and it will be an open process where all man will see how all man they perform, and we don't know they perform. You go, excuse me, make other person come for can do the work better because we not get time for waste. So we get for make sure say the people they understand their needs, and we get for respond to the people that need. So people they don't need too much. The Salonians are very, very understanding. Our people in the villages are very, very understanding. They don't need too much. Give our people road where they go to their place. Give them electricity. Give them water supply. They will farm. They will feed themselves. They will be fine. They will bring the surplus that the next big town and sell and buy what they need from the next big town, work in the village, and live a comfortable life. Those are the basic things we need to provide. When person is sick, he gets a hospital nearby where he get for go for treatment. When Pikin reach the age, he gets a school where he go and get good quality education for him Pikin. That is all the people they need. And I believe say we go do our best as a government for meet those basic needs of the people them so that they will see reason why they will vote, and they will feel justified that indeed they vote APC back into power for respond to their own everyday needs with this government of fail for them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Konteh. Una they listen to the Unifier Hour at www.richardkonteh.com, www.richardkonteh.com, Konteh with a K. Una can listen to we on any of the social media platform them. We they on Twitter, we they on LinkedIn, we they on YouTube, we they on Instagram, we even they on TikTok. So I invite everybody where they on. If you group them, do you share the link? Let other people themselves come and can listen to Dr. Konteh. Dr. Konteh, I know say I've been telling you the last question and my last question, but I want to ask you one more question before I will ask you the question and then give you the platform for make you answer and then address the potential voter them for the delegates they will get for vote for the flag bearer. Okay. And my final question to you is you been mentioned something about the way this particular government where they in position now, we don't create so much hardship for we people there. They know they respect merit. Once you get connection, you're good to go. Whether you sabi the way you're supposed to do or not, you're good to go. Whose role you think say merit, and do you if you could take the time for explain what you mean by merit and meritocracy, whose role you see meritocracy they play in a government where you go for? Thank you, sir.
My understanding of meritocracy that for say would they get a government wherein you they get position not because of how connected you are, but because you get the requisite qualification. So it could be a government who say every Sierra Leonean will get an equal and unfettered opportunity for actualize your fullest potentials, where we don't go define anybody by virtue of your tribe, your surname, your religion, your region, or your party affiliation. But we say every Sierra Leonean for feel free for engage and get opportunities where you go take advantage of. And then, and basically, I think saying that's not the serious problem we don't get with this present government. People then they now way unemployed, not because they're not qualified, but just because they get the wrong tribe, they get the wrong region of origin, they get the wrong party where they feel they're affiliated with, and those things will change under a Richard Konteh administration. God be my helper. But one of the things that way most appalling, where I need to talk about now as at the close. Now, what happened 3 days ago? We talk about human rights abuses. We talk about abuse of power. We talk about excessive use of force. We talk about a security apparatus where they in disarray. I think say the highest degree where they don't demonstrate that now what happened 3 days ago with the arrest of Blacker, Chris Man. Then go na Connaught Hospital. The Chris Man just don't undergo operation. I think it's a hernia operation. He then a sick bed. They say he caused precedent. Therefore, then go arrest him. Then can go point by one charity. They say the charity natural possibly they send money for give blacker. So therefore, the charity don't commit crime because they send money to her for give blacker. So the cost way blacker, the cost president, and the charity responsible. Then take Chris Man with the charity, then go lock them up in the central police, then sleep there. The next morning, then told them carry them go to CID. You know, but I'm glad they already how blacker go perform there. You know, and I mean, as if that they grant them bail. Then blacker tell them say, you know, they go no side in there for pay because don't go wasting time. Then go lock her up back. Stick man, we just don't undergo operation. Chris Man. Then yesterday, they take their care, they go to court. Then go, they refuse their bail. They care them go Pademba, they care them go to special court. This morning, they bring the car back to court. We made the car appear in court again. Chris Man. The Chris Man get for reminding in court. Say, una don't say truck, una the jail Chris, una the we bring Chris Man to court. I mean, how can that happen? In every civilized country, it not they happen. You know they bring Chris Man to court. Then go begin say, my person bail the Chris Man. Now our lawyer say, okay, the bailer. I mean, how can we degenerate to that level? For take Chris Man for go appear before magistrate court because he costs. And I understand say there and then in court, now begin cost back. You know enough make una no say not to case this. I really commend the guy in a CID. They say where they can go blacker to the CID from Central. Where blacker don't perform no more, and they say, you know, this una go back to una come out. We this case here it above we. I wish the people in the sheriff just dismiss the case. I wish somebody would just get the guts for saying, no, this is nonsense. This nonsense has to stop. Because and we really need for stop this type of excesses. Yes, I know say people like you have for sure say they get power. But there's that thing called hacking. And there's that thing called bad precedents. You know, we set very bad precedents for the governance architecture of this country. As like you always say, you know, power is not perpetual. You know, they don't forever. Anyhow, you take in governance, one fine day you'll be called former.
Yes.
And when you are called former, you might be held accountable for some of your deeds or misdeeds. So we have to be careful the way we treat each other. You know, we have to be careful. I mean, Chris Man, because he costs, then go jail, take her from hospital bed, go lock him up. That's the highest. Say, the leaders, the only they hear me or they talk to, will take necessary steps. May that case not ever appear again in court. Because it's embarrassing to the world that Sierra Leone can go, can stoop so low. Let we learn for treat ourselves responsibly. We are all Sierra Leoneans. Let we respect each other. And for we inside the APC, we don't endure a lot in 4+ years. Now we are winding down to June 24, 2023. But before we get to that June 24, we need to get a new leadership for the party. Sadly, we're at the crossroads at the moment where we get a court ruling. We will not know whether we will cry or for laugh over this court ruling. It's challenging. We don't know exactly within all of a stronger and a more vibrant party. Let we come together. Let we stop this mamikos. Let we stop these false accusations. That did not help. We need to take any. Let each other. Let we respect each other. Let we work together. And then when we succeed for work together and put in place the systems and the structures and the processes for let we go to a lower level elections and eventually we elect the flag bearer. let we all rally around the flag bearer and ensure victory for we APC so that we will able to redeem this country again. Me, Richard Konteh, they offer myself as one person we believe, say, I don't demonstrate, say, I love my party. I don't demonstrate, say, I'm loyal to my party. I don't demonstrate, say, I like my people in this country. I don't demonstrate, say, I get the capacity for deliver. And I get the capacity for lead we party against the SLPP and win. Now they call on everybody for come and join the unified team because we all now one and we all can work together for a better APC and for a better Sierra Leone. Let God help we all.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Konteh. A fitting end to the interview today. A listener then from all over the world. I tell una thank you for tuning in, for listening. And I want for make everything una do here so today. Make una share them. Make una share them. We all they look for we country in better one. And Dr. Konteh don't prove today. He don't show it today. Say he get not only plan and aid how for better we country, but he don't establish, say, he get concrete plan the way he ready for follow under an administration when Dr. Richard Konteh administration. So I just want to tell everybody plenty thank you. I want to invite una for continue for share the information. Say every Saturday we day live at this time starting 9 p.m. Salon time. I also want for invite una all for share the link so that even the one that we're not able for join we live, go listen to them the rest of the week. Thank you so much. And when I get the rest of una week, when I enjoy them, when I enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much from the Unify Hour.
Thank you, Valda. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So how was it?